Hey guys, this is MTP Flyers, and no, this is not a re-upload. This is yet another case for the iPad mini. This one is from GRIFFIN, called the Survivor. So, let's skip ahead to the good part. Alright guys, so right off the bat, I'm going to start comparing this to the OtterBox Defender, and I know that I shouldn't, but this actually has its own good things and its own bad things. So, real quick, putting this together is a little bit different than the OtterBox Defender. The front piece shell that covers this, that actually has a cover as well over the screen, actually snaps on top of the rubber piece. So if I were to throw this, pretty good. I was afraid that the front was going to pop off on that, so again, am I going to make it a habit to start throwing these things around that are like this? Yeah, I will. But taking a quick peek around this, the rubber around this actually seems much softer than the OtterBox and has a lot of cushion to it. I don't know if that's a better thing or a worse thing, but like I said, the front of this actually clamps on top of the silicone rubber piece itself. So your plastic shield actually pops off and will expose the rubber piece that's holding it on. Now, taking this apart, again, you have your three pieces. You have the front screen shield, you have the rubber piece, and you have a plastic undercarriage, which actually shows on the back of this. And oddly enough, the camera cutout is attached to the plastic sheeting underneath and not to the rubber here. So when you take this off, you actually have this exposed sitting inside the plastic, which is the hardest one to open up. What are you going to do? So, taking this thing off was not too difficult once I figured it out. You take off the front plastic piece, and then you take off the rubber plastic piece there. Now, the one thing that does concern me about this case is the iPad mini actually snaps into the plastic piece that's underneath. Now, I'm a little concerned because it does wrap around that beautiful chrome portion on the side of the iPad mini, and I'm afraid it might get a little bit scratched. So if you're going to put this in, it's probably not something that you want to be putting in and taking out all the time, and you might end up scratching it. So that might be a bad thing. However, the design itself, I don't know if it's any better or any worse than the OtterBox itself, but it's definitely a nice case. I like it. And they do go a little bit different when it comes to a stand for this. The OtterBox Defender had that whole sheeting that actually covered the front and then had the piece underneath of it to allow you to prop it up. This little piece here actually sits on the side of the Griffin itself and tucks in real nice to where you can just leave it on there, and actually it's a nice piece to hold on to while you're holding the case. Now, they do have the same raised bumps on this side of the Mini, but you can't put it on this side because the volume rockers will get bumped and you'll end up putting your volume all the way down while you're using it. I realized that when I was trying it out. So how does this work? This actually piece bumps up and you actually slide the piece to lock it into place, and boom, you have a stand. Now, that is about it for the stand itself. You can't do anything else other than put it in portrait, because the way that this sits on here, it actually wraps around the rubber bumps there. It does not allow you to do that on the top or the bottom of the case itself, because what it'll do is it'll just sit there and sit straight up and doesn't lean back properly. So this is clearly just made for standing up watching a movie or something along those lines. That might be all that you're looking for. I don't know. Depending on what you're doing, you might want to type a little bit. So this may or may not be a good or bad selling point for you. So coming in at $59.99, this is a little bit less expensive and probably does about the same thing that the OtterBox does for the iPad mini. Taking a quick peek around here, like I said, your ports are all covered at the bottom here. It's really easy to open up your lightning port to access and charge this. Plenty of room in there. Same thing, your speakers are open up on the bottom. And wrapping around the side here, your volume rockers are extremely easy to push, and you get great feedback on that. Your vibrate switch is easy to get to. If you've got bigger fingers, you might have a problem with this, but I definitely didn't have any issues with that. Across the top here, your sleep awake button, extremely easy to get to and very responsive. Your microphone on top of the iPad mini is open, so you have access to be able to record that so you can hear your voice. On the top, your headphone jack is covered, again, extremely easy to get to. And like I said earlier, the hardest thing to open up on here is the camera. Actually, you gotta dig at it a little bit, but once you get it open, you kind of struggle here. Got to show you guys how difficult sometimes it is to do stuff. So you open that up, but the nice thing is it does curl under and stay out of the way while you're taking pictures, if you're someone that uses this to take pictures. But it definitely fits in there nice. The fit and finish is great. I had a little problem down here putting this all together, and I felt like this was popping up a little bit, but the second time I put this on, the third time, didn't seem to have a problem with it. So I still like the OtterBox better. I'm going to try them both out. I'll let you guys know. I just like the finish of the OtterBox. The idea that you have a front cover on it, you put it around to the back, and it doubles as the stand that does multiple angles. This, you're kind of limited. But at the same time, it may be all that you want to do. So that's a quick peek at the GRIFFIN Survivor. Again, retails for $59.99. And I've only seen it at Best Buy and on Griffin's website. So we'll put the links down below. You can check that out. And, I'll get back to you guys with a lot more stuff. You have a great one, and I will talk to you later. See ya!